Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another God of War Ragnarok video, and today I am bringing you the starting gameplay from my new game. This is not New Game Plus, this is just a fresh game on the Give Me God of War difficulty, just having completed the No Mercy difficulty. Pretty much. There's a lot of things that I didn't own 100%, but I wanted to show you guys just how far my skill as a player has come. This is, I think, one of the first encounters you get, and you guys are gonna see here, like, I play flawlessly, literally, and all we have is the axe. So you have to have good skills with all your weapons, and the axe is one of those weapons. It's got like swipes. It's limited on the speed on the R1 hits, and then it's very limited on the R2 hits. They're not as safe because when you go and you, like with the blades, if you press R2 from a sprint, you do the blade slam, and with the axe you do an axe slam. But the axe slam, the wind up, and the execution and the recovery, it does leave you open to attack. And sometimes when you're fighting stronger, like higher level enemies, what happens is they don't even stagger. So as you guys can see, like if you're doing even your strongest animation with the axe, which is like the running slam with the axe with R2, if they're higher level, which a lot of times they do, in Give Me God of War, I see that your enemies will power up. So see, every time they go purple, they're powering up. They don't stagger. And as you can see right here in this gameplay, I'm doing a really good combination of axe fighting and fighting with the bare fist and the shield. I think it's a really good gameplay. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, I still haven't even taken a hit. See what I mean? So you have that guy over there, he's powering up, hitting the Frost Awaken. Pretty cool. Really like that feature of the new with the axe. These new features. There you go. That guy's powered up, so he's gonna be less vulnerable to anything and everything that I do deploy my strategy. Both of them now are. You see, look how they've played. Look how they fight now that they're both powered up. You see, they're faster. They do stagger with the Frost Awaken. It seems to be a Frost Awaken consistently will continue to do work. See that one? It's a minimal stagger for them from that hard attack. And then there you go. That first encounter is pretty much done with. There's another encounter coming up that I do want you guys to see as well. It's the same thing. It's flawless gameplay. I take no damage, and I even impressed myself, honestly, because I have some notes because I did jump into New Game Plus, and I do want to note some things on there. But for the purposes of this is a brand new save here. So we're basically in Give Me God of War at level 1. So we're pretty much like, this is supposed to bring you the highest challenge. So like I said, I really impressed myself that not only did I play well, I didn't even take damage in these fights, and it didn't feel like easy. It felt like I was a skilled player because the enemies, they are coming at you aggressively, and you have to have good control of the timing of your attacks, know your positioning, have good awareness. You are a little bit outnumbered, and especially in this next fight coming up, or I believe it's this fight. It's just more enemies load in a little bit later. I think that's up there coming up. There's a pretty big area. You have the enemy type that throws in, because these are all raiders. These are like the beginning of the game. It's like pretty much all raiders, kind of like the first game where you just had the axe at level 1, and it's just like, see how strong the enemy types are, and basically learning the new mechanics of the game. But Ragnarok has definitely improved your skill set, from death from above attacks to the Frost Awaken. It's actually very substantial. Frost Awaken. There you go. It's like, recall the axe and trip that opponent. So it's not just about literally throwing it. There you go. You could throw it, but when you recall in the right position, it's gonna trip. That's why. So, it feels a little bit awkward to just constantly be throwing the axe at the opponent's legs just to trip them that way. There's alternate ways to do it, and this happens to be one of them. So look at this gameplay here. It's really, really strategic. It's really, really stylish, is what you would call it, like on the hack and slash genre. These melee fighter genres. It's so stylish combat. I really was impressed with the skill level that I have brought in to Give Me God of War. There's a lot of things to talk about. There goes that encounter again, another flawless. There's a lot of things to talk about, like basically, you observe that the armor is, in the beginning you get strength or defense, kind of like that seems to be the two ways that you can play. Players that will prioritize strength seems to be a certain type of play style, and then defense. I just happen to be a defense play style, as you can see. When I realized, okay, well, let me switch back. I started my first game on Give Me No Mercy, emphasizing strength. And what I noticed, probably on the lower difficulties, it's not that bad. But on these higher difficulties, since you go down in one hit, it's probably better to prioritize defense. At least for me. Because I don't parry that much. So I do, and then again, I know that parrying is a different type of play style. So I want you guys to see the Hateful did give me some this Hateful, my first playthrough of No Mercy. I had to come back to this fight later in the game. I couldn't beat him at all. That's just like a sign of like how far my skill has come. But in this playthrough, this is Give Me God of War. I was playing here for a little bit. I did end up swapping to the Nidavelir's placard, which is pretty good because I believe it does prioritize some defense and it has good strength. It's definitely a good armor to get. A lot of guys out there talking about how good this one is early game, and I tested it out for myself, and it is really good. I do like it. As you can see in this gameplay, I believe Hateful, like this enemy here, like it's a boss fight that it'll be really hard, but still, I go with the axe against this enemy type, and I'm really happy with like the way the gameplay comes out. You see, I already took down his basically the two guys that he summons, the two other Draugr that he summons. So now it's just me and him, and it's just about doing this raw damage, get a good block and dodges, and it's just really good. I really do like how it took a while. It wasn't like this is like the first one. It took a little while to just really get focused and get locked in, but once I did, as you can see, like it was all about like sometimes you gotta prioritize speed. You gotta like take out the other guys. There you go. You think about, look, let me take out the other guys, use the rage strategically. That's a thing. I strategically use the rage to just try to get as much, damage on the other Draugr and finish them off as quickly as possible. That way it's a 1v1. So that's how I ended up taking out that fight. And it was, in my opinion, pretty good. And one thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is Traversal. So towards the end of my No Mercy playthrough, I did jump into Give Me God of War, and they had TRANSMOG, and I figured that that's gonna allow you to go ahead and customize your appearance to anything that you want in terms of all the other armor sets. Personally, I kind of got accustomed to the look of my armor because it's not the armor again. It's not entirely cosmetic. It's very, very much a part of your entire equipment set. So taking that into consideration, I kind of felt like I liked the way it looks because I definitely appreciated how it supported me in these really hard encounters, and how it supported my gameplay and getting past these enemy rooms or these boss fights that I was not able to do, or I was having a much harder time than I would have expected. And I wanted to also bring into context another aspect of the gameplay, which is Traversal. And if you consider Traversal, you consider how you have three methods of Traversal, and this is something that I've been working on with a lot of games, but particularly in God of War, you have a walking, you have what you can see is a jogging, and then you have a sprinting. So I wanted to definitely talk about how you can customize. I basically like to do a lot of jogging now because I definitely like, I like to use all that is available to me, and sprinting is really necessary in terms of the combat, so it's definitely necessary there. But during a lot of these Traversal, like, you see, there's a lot of moments within the game that require a lot of puzzles, and I kind of found myself, like, sprinting by reaction, like if it was a combat scenario, which is something that I had switched up in my own gameplay. It said, I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to do some jogging. I'm going to do some light jogging to whenever I get back into these puzzle scenarios. Because you're going to spend some time here. I definitely want to do as many aspects of the side quests and the treasures and the artifacts as much as possible in this playthrough, so I can see about potentially 100%ing this playthrough. So you're going to spend a lot of time here, and it's definitely energy conserving to go ahead and just do some light jogging throughout the entire basically like emptied out enemy room when you have to clear all these, you know, these treasures and these things. That some things I already know where they are, and others I know I still have to find if I'm gonna finish this playthrough. So, you know, you can transmog now. The new update brought us transmog. There's a new update today. I checked this morning. So now you can update the appearance of your armor. Maybe down the line in my gameplay, this might be something that I want to go ahead and do. I might go ahead and update the look of a certain armor. I'm actually curious to see if from one gameplay to the next, my build will change for whatever reason, be it skill increase, necessity, because of the difficulty requires maybe a different type of armor to get through more of the encounters. But for the most part, I remember, you know, in my first playthrough, I stuck with the Steinborn chest piece, the Gauntlets of Guiding Light for the wrist armor, and then the waist armor was the Berserker armor. That's an armor build that had gotten me through the entire game on Give Me No Mercy, excluding Gana. Because on Gana, I went with a poison build. But as you can see here, at least in this gameplay, at least at this stage in the game, on a new playthrough, I played pretty well. I played pretty well. My skills have come a long way. Everything is like coming together, doing some real stylish gameplay here. And basically what you want to do is like, you know, I like to have like really good dodge rolls, really good, you know, stylish animations and things that work out well seamlessly. See, I ringed out 2 enemy types right there. There's still a lot here. They're going to be spawning in. See what I mean? They're up there now in different positions. This is actually one of the hardest fights, I would be. This is one of the, well, potentially one of the harder encounters in the early game, as well as several other ones, especially that hateful fight, which it did take me a while to get through. But you know, from a strategy perspective, here I didn't have to deploy much in terms of like my armor set. I was good. Did a good dodge roll right there. I was really good. Maybe on the previous armor set that I had set up, I might have had some more difficulty, especially with the strength build, simply because it benefits me so much to have more damage, and even the perks on the Nidavellir, I believe, you know, they're pretty good. Still gotta check them out. But as you guys can see here, this fight right here is just so, you know, so smooth, and I'm able to basically move around this environment and, you know, pretty much take as little damage as I would have expected, because there you go, some more jump attacks. I could have probably went down a few times. These are supposed to be the harder fights. But it's pretty good because, and I had gone down, but as soon as I started to develop my gameplay a little bit here, develop my armor really, you start to see some improvements. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, like, oh well, the new update brought us some new things, and I'm curious because I know that in New Game Plus, there are new things that come in, new missions, new objectives actually are in the game. So that's just something that you would probably want to go in to do. The only thing about New Game Plus is that starting from max level, it makes you overpowered. You know, I understand, like it just makes you overpowered. There's no room for strategy because you don't actually need anything. It becomes like it becomes a little too easy. Whereas in this gameplay, you know, when you're starting out, that's what you want. You want to be able to, you know, challenge your opponents and have your opponents challenge you. So we'll see what happens, and I'll catch you in the next one.
As I was saying,